time recently, and they just talked about like how much aggression, how much kind of initiation he brought to the team, and I'm excited to see how that works. And also directly on that other side, Truro, kind of a similar vein, one of those, you know, I'd like to call him glue eating in like a respectful way, in that they're a Jet main that just loves getting aggressive, loves abusing that Jet utility to get into your face and to start things off strong.
When you have flashy Jet players like that, you know, it can be very feast or famine at times. And obviously, teams here are looking to feast. As we see immediately, Ryans are going to be setting up what seems like for an A split. And hey, you know, just in case you forgot who the heroes were, that's who we're working with. But no, I mean, I think immediately you're going to be seeing kind of that quick style that Rise have been known for. And almost immediately, they're going to get the spike down, Mimi.
Yeah, this is a good setup early on, have themselves situated in this post plant. And remember that Astra in play, because should the timer run low, those gravity wells could be huge. But with his dash still up, Shanks might just be the first point of contact as Calypso looks to find some timing through this nebula.
Find it for right now. Contact being made initially. Houston is just waiting to play off contact of this turret. It's not going to work out at all. FYB find 2 frags to the good. Still, though, waiting in the smoke will be a couple of players. They're training each other strong. This play under heaven is absolutely massive. Poised emerges from the smokes, and that will be a very quick round going the way of, surprisingly, Frick Bag.
Yeah, it was a really nice round. Or I'm sorry, that was... Oh, it switched. There we go. Brain had to rev back up for a second there. But for the side of Freaky Bag in that post plant there, they just had super nice positioning. They had that crossfire towards Hell, which meant the second that players were dropping down, they were just into that meat grinder immediately. I did like the call to kind of commit to playing the retake. Just, I think that on the pistol round, it can get pretty dangerous. But with the comp they're running, the Astra, the Sova, the Jet, I think in the future it's something that could work a little bit better. But regardless of the future, into this second round, it is a pretty good buy up for the side of Frick Ya Bag, and will Rise. They've just relegated down to maybe some upgraded pistols. Just looking for some damage here, Ito.
And you can tell Frick Ya Bag are well aware of it. Playing super passive. Hell, 2 players are sitting in spawn watching for any potential A main aggression. This is a good pace for Frick Ya Bag. You know, they have to make sure at the same time they don't completely concede map control. That could be a very dangerous beast against a team like Rise in particular. It seems that they want to group up over towards B, Mimi, and it kind of brings question marks. Like, what's a final destination for them? Are they just going to try to maybe conga line towards B, trade each other out from there? I mean, there's more than one way to skin a cat, so to speak. I'm just wondering what their method of choice is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. These rounds, I think it's totally chill to play it slow. Eventually, you do want to push. You can't let yourself get into these late rounds against the lighter buy, where the close quarters angles can find themselves. But that's actually a really great start for Rise. And this gets a little bit dangerous now, as this position is known towards main, and the fight will happen onto the site. Ooh, Shanks is a tough spot to be in, but he somehow finds 2 with the shorty. How does that happen? Well, it might not even matter, because Frick Ya Bag spawned with 2. But look at Neptune. This is a very sneaky spot, and he blindsides the first, has the frag swinging out, and the right click will do it. That's exactly what we were talking about. Do not push late into the close corners without clearing. That is when you lose those pivotal rounds.
And that is massive for Rise to pick up as well, right? Yeah, I thought they nerfed the classic right click, but it's still doing amazing wonders right there. Neptune with a clean 2-piece at the end of it. But I think it was Shanks being able to create so much space and buy as much time as he did.
Yeah.
Straight up, all he did was just dash across to the other side by switch, and yeah, it seemed like he was really, really difficult to catch out of position. I think it's a Frick Ya Bag, maybe, I don't know, trying to dissect it the wrong way, but they fell victim really quickly to those pistols.
That gravity well could have gotten a bit dangerous, but Shanks gets away with his dash. The buy, well, it's really rough right now for Frick Ya Bag, and they're just looking to deal damage with these sheriffs, but the slow pacing, and again, it's not going to benefit him too much, because Shanks has the entry. Now this round looking pretty grim already.
It's kind of what we know Shanks for, right? Flashy play like that, just terrorizing them towards A main right now. That's 2 down. And Frick Ya Bag kind of have to play this game, don't they? They can't exactly completely concede it. They need to fight, try to get a player back in their favor. Next one up will be Trio, but doesn't find the kill. Goes the same way for Shanks, however. Falling back onto site. Frick Ya Bag with very limited options at this point, looking to pick up Spike. If they get the plant here, I think overall they can be relatively happy, but
yeah, it
doesn't
doesn't
say
look
they're
like
even going to get that far.
Flawless to boot in the end there. That's a great round out of Rise. I love the way that Shanks is just playing off his tailwind there. You know, just disrespect the gravity well. Play off your one-way, get aggressive, find a frag. And I even like that he double dips there, right? Like, he's not just happy with the one frag, knows that he can go back in, knows that he can regain his tailwind, does it again, finds a bunch of frags early on. And that's also the Blade Storm up, so if it gets to a risky round or an eco round, they have that available. But it's guns on both sides this time, Eco. Well, it's not an eco, but you are Ito, and this is a good chance for FYB to respond.
Well, if you want to go ahead and talk about economic safety, you know, on brand with my name, I think this would be honestly fine for Shanks to use it here. He can completely swap up his place down. I think it plays perfectly into his favor. Tacked up by a drone, so he'll get away from for now, excuse me. This next challenge will be Neptune, just peeking out behind a smoke towards Catwalk. First kill found, not traded through. This is terrible news once again for FYB. They do eventually get kills, but the trades are so quick. Rise, with incredible setups towards mid, are getting everything they could hope for, and at least a little bit more. Or at least I thought. Two kills.
Is doable.
Oh, most certainly is. It's a 2v1. I mean, honestly, not the most impossible round for Calypso here. This man's a clutch legend. Yeah,
he's really good in these clutches. There's 2 ults to go up against. That's the lockdown and the Hunter's Fury, and they clear out Hell. How are they going to play this? They know that there's likely not smokes in play, so they can adjust towards main if necessary, but Calypso's not giving them time. Pressure on immediately, door broken down, and
Cam.
He does reassess towards Heaven. You're right, Cam up. That could be good information, but look at this sneaky angle being held directly towards Hell. Calypso needs to fight into this. Knows that the KJ's down there. That's good information. And if he peeks out and finds this, it's a chance. Knows at least one is there, possibly the second. And the drop down does get punished. The clutch denied. And FYB, they recoup to a tied odd.
I honestly really love how FYB played that. You know, a bit of a mess towards the mid-round there, but being able to secure trades like that is massive. But I think the 2v1 in particular was solid, right? They grouped up towards the same part of the map here. They played turret, or they played off of the contact of the turret, rather, and they had the drop covered from step one. They were either going to have to force Calypso to go a completely different path if he wanted to clutch that, or just kind of fall into the jaws of the beast. And, well, he chose option 2. Quick round for FYB.
Yeah, it's a really nice one, but Shanks does have the operator up. We kind of hyped him up because he's a big man when he has this weapon out, and he can really make an impact for the server. FYB, they've been pretty slow on these defaults, just working the map control. And, well, this is where Shanks thrives. When you play slow against him, he will aggress on you. Take these lines, try and take a fight. So we'll see if he's going to get a snack early on or not. And with that KJ posture towards main, there's a chance, but everyone very passive, at least to start out.
For now, I'm wondering what their Q exactly is. Certainly a slower default, but we're hitting the minute mark, and all they really have to work with is solid mid control, which, you know, is no small feat, but it can be easily counteracted with a single flash. Neptune will prove exactly that. He holds onto it. That forces FYB to go in over towards the A site. Smoke down towards Catwalk for good measure.
Yeah, that's a good bit of information. Now, they suspect this A play, at least a possibility. That's because of Shanks' aggressive position. They feel confident to rotate 3 towards this direction. Remember the Hunter's Fury available, and that lockdown as well gets initiated. Yeah, Calypso's safe. He can play this dice position. Good chance for him, but FYB being very careful. The question is, Ito, are they going to clear Calypso? And with the stun up, it looks likely he's still in this position to hold the line. Throw now pushing. Calypso finds the first, maybe more. No, it's a shutdown for Nerve, and the run it back tries to trade through, gets one, but the Hunter's Fury will connect, or at least a tag. The blind perfect, and the connection for Poise. Spike still not on the ground. 10 seconds, and need to make this work. And Shanks with the Blade Storm trying to pressure. Poise in close, a ping out through the dice, so he's still alive. Spam connecting, but it's a 1v3, no time, no chance.
Holy, that is immense pressure put on from Rise from basically moment number 1 of that execute. It started with Calypso playing a one-and-done position, or I mean, I wouldn't even say in theory a one-and-done position. He could have bunkered down and just tried to stay alive as long as possible, but having that trust in your teammates to use the space that you created and actually make it into something more was massive. We'll see it on the replay right here. It was just continuous pressure. Then it's Neptune, then it's Sova, then it's Poise after the fact. Like, that sort of power is really difficult to play against, and FYB struggled the entire time.
I noticed no one was peeking in a position where they could actually get punished. It was always just these close lines, always these careful fights. There was no chance for it. It is an eco round, and Shanks has a chance.
That's
here.
nice.
The frag up, and he dashes on out. That's a perfect entry for them. Need to even take the dart out before information's garnered. And well, remember Calypso's position here. Crypt's available, Crypt's aplenty, and the op keeps him pressured back. This is the same point we brought up last round. The pressure is so immense on this defense.
And if you think it's bad over towards B, there's already a player out towards mid who's going to hear absolutely everything. Unless they rotate through spawn, which it seems like at least a couple of players of FYB are thinking of, but they'll gather up once more towards B.
Yeah.
And this raises some question marks, Mimi, because like, what's your option now? You know you still have to go ahead and take care of the tripwires. You've gotten out one cyber cage. That's about it when it comes to utility.
There's still an op.
There's still an op as well. Yeah, not to mention all the cloud burst so he can get out safely. Like, you're looking at very limited options right now, and I think their best move is going to be moving it through mid, which exactly is what they choose. Let's see if Neptune is up for the task. He certainly is. 2 kills.
Spike down mid.
And the third one will evade him, but Shanks will be there to pick it up. And again, it's the pressure, Mimi.
Oh, hero rifle, not going to be able to get it done. I think that, did they manage to pick that up, or was that a reinvestment? I think he just had the money to try for something with it. Doesn't work out in the end. And now the ball seems to be rolling pretty well here for Raz. They found 2 on the trot. Shanks is still up on the op, and I think that he's going to continue to be in big X factor, right? Like we saw that round, gets the entry, dashes out. That is what we expect from Shanks. And when you have a Jet like that, that's just feeling it, that's just kind of unteaming with that aggression, it's really, really hard to contend with.
It honestly is, and you know, when you think about the best methods to take care of it, oh my god, Shanks on fire. Still in the early game. I also want to give shoutouts to Derek, honestly. Look how many assists you have without a single kill. It's kind of impressive. He's 0-3 and 7, I believe.
Pacifist
Certainly
run,
doing his part.
ascent any percent.
I mean, right now, the rate that Rise are playing, it certainly wouldn't be impossible. And everyone else can do the work for you. Just sit back, relax. But that is basically the opposite of what Rise are looking to do, excuse me. They're contending over towards Catwalk, and they lose a life for it. That's actually over towards mid, excuse me, that Calypso dies, and that will force a Rise defense to back up towards their spawn. This is the first time in a good while that FYB have actually had a really solid base to work off of here. Tons of map control, and obviously a frag to the good. Yeah,
but look at Shanks still, Ito. He's trying to pressure, but he doesn't expect Huston in close. That's a perfect position. Shuts it down. Now they have man advantage by 2, and the B side is getting called. And look, this is perfect. Rise rotating out, giving this up, and
this is great.
If this spike goes down, you might even have to consider the save. Maybe try and recover that up, but there will be at least one man here ready to defend. Jelly on the jiggle, waiting for full support before he commits to the peak. And we see Nerve in that astral form will be able to pop the smokes up. But this is great for FYB. They have a man on the site. It really has to fall onto Derek here. No kills quite yet. He'll have to break that curse, and he does not. Shut down immediately. 2 frags for FYB. I feel like you might just go and try and get that op back. No real chance for the round if you Rise.
Almost certainly no chance. I think Neptune's going to try to get some exits here. I'm not sure how fragile the economy is for FYB, but it's not going to become any less weak. A flawless round for FYB just like that, and talk about instant improvement right there. As soon as they got the single frag in their favor, they had so much space to work with, and they were able to compound that into something more. Expecting the counterplay, or expecting to push rather from Shanks, clean site take. It just was all really immaculate from FYB, and I think the sort of thing that they did really wonderful there is honestly well aware of the fact that Shanks is going to try to push his limits somewhere. They have the right read on the situation, worked out perfect.
Yeah, you love when you can see a team doing their homework, being prepared for a round. Shanks,
that's
a really
nice
cool
start.
dart actually. Yeah, you don't see that one a lot, and trying to force out the tail, and it won't happen, but still the information. Shanks pushed off the line, misses the shot, and eats some damage. Yeah, what do you expect here? And this guy is just unteaming with aggression. He will always go for the fight, but he's not going to get his chance for a frag, at least not this time. FYB, they do have that Cosmic Divide into this round, and I feel like right now the Cosmic Divide, we've seen some cool stuff with it, but I don't think it's like full potential has been seen by any team. So I'm excited to see how they're going to use that here if they do elect to invest it into this round.
Oftentimes, what you see with the Cosmic Divide is using it over towards Generator to kind of divide it from the left and right side of the site. Actually, notice on the pings on the radar how you see they're going to try to split it down the middle of site. So
looks like
they're going with a similar approach to it. Yeah, there it is coming through. That's going to allow most likely for the plant to go down. Shanks, he has a tailwind. He can get out of this if he absolutely needs to. And bam, only a little bit HP less. That's a ton of information, though. They can fully commit, fully rotate through. But you know what they have to look out for? The flank over towards mid. There's just layers to this offense from FYB.
Ooh, Neptune, great shot on to Huston. Actually using the wall against him, isolates that duel. Now,
flank
they do have the Blaze wall, and yeah, the flank a factor here. When's it going to come out? Might not matter, because Truo's in close on the site. Trade comes through, but stays even. FYB on the back foot, and Poise pushing from main. Well, they know that one's up heaven. Need the fight. Gravity belt onto the spike, and the swing out. Maybe a double. It's labored, but it will connect in the end.
That was huge from FYB. That is what a layered offense looks like there. It cost them the Cosmic Divide, but, you know, you can talk about how much it actually impacted that round. And, you know, I think the impact there was undeniable. You saw them trying to pressure on that side of the wall that Rise Ron, and while it did numbers, I think really the real meat of this round came from that long flank through heaven. It got them 2 frags. Nerve was able to finish up with a gravity wall combo, of course, but sometimes just having a single player coming in as that late pincer does so much work, and FYB, they'll even things up here.
It's a really nice situation to be in, right? On your attacker side of Ascent.
Right.
Already getting a good amount of rounds on the table, but you're right, Poise aggressive there and found a frag. Shanks tries the same. Won't be able to get the same luck, at least for more than a trade, and that's a little overzealous, but maybe it doesn't matter. Poise not quite ready. Jelly on the lurk up, and it's a double entry out from Simple. Now there's 2 players towards heaven, and the first man to fight will be Calypso. Just that upgraded pistol in hands, looking for something with the Sheriff. Won't happen. This round feels pretty diffused now. Just a Bucky for Derek, and well, it's out of its former glory. Hope's not too high. Maybe some exits. Maybe a chance. Actually has a rifle now. He could do this, Kieran.
Does he go for it, though? He's going to have to face off against the Hunter's Fury, and save anyway. Yeah, no reason not to at least keep this guy. I mean, he's only a pip away from getting that Hunter's Fury online, so if he dies here, it's not actually an awful idea.
He might.
A fine death.
Well, he gets a kill. Now he can stay alive and have that ultimate best of both worlds. Being chased down.
Oh my god, Derek, what? I mean, there's no time. Doesn't matter in way of the round, but it's still some lovely frags to keep the economy in control, and well, he does you one better than finding the ultimate.
Yeah, I wish he could kind of like overload it. He'd already be hell of a way close to his next one. And speaking of ultimates, now it's actually a good time to check how Rise literally have all of them in favor right now. So this is kind of a big swing round that you're looking at right here, Mimi, right? Because FYB, their ego is pretty decent because after saving like that, they have more than enough to buy up. But if you look at the side of Rise, it's not exactly great. They don't have a lot in their savings accounts here. I wouldn't be surprised if you see this get pretty expensive quickly when it comes to ultimates, just so Rise can secure this round.
They really need it. The possibility of going down 6 on the defensive side of Ascent is really scary, but here's to run it back. Aggressive play, will it benefit? Breaks the turret, finds the frag. Great one, he can even do more. The blind perfect with the spray. Not connecting. Hunter's Fury keeps him safe. Simple. Trying to fight back in, but the man advantage maintained for Rise. Calypso in close here. Do some damage. He'll tuck in. The right call. FYB, they have to reassess here. A man down, and I mean, they do have that lockdown, but there's, I mean, remember the ultimates you called out. There's still a Hunter's Fury. There's still a Blade Storm. No matter how he slices, this is going to be a really hard one.
The Hunter's Fury alone makes the lockdown, I wouldn't say useless, but
nearly
certainly much less of a threat. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can at least try to take some advantage of the space that you make behind it, but it's going to be easily put out. I don't know. Options seem really difficult for FYB. Right now, what I'm expecting them to try to do, this is interesting, actually. They're setting up 2 lurks, one watching for a B push and the other towards A main.
They have the lockdown. They're going to fake with this and then try to execute.
Smart.
But look where Shanks
Hunter's
is.
Fury about to be used.
Yeah, they do invest it. That's huge. Everyone's off of B, Kieran. This is a free site for the taking. But look at the Sylva and Calypso. They're still close. Did Calypso hear the running? He'll hear it now off
Yeah,
that
he
dart.
should've.
They know this is coming. And look, the rotate's already back in. The spike might not have worked. 10 seconds, they need to commit in now. And True up and over the top finds it, but his teammates fall all around him. Bodies on the floor. Last in main down as well. So it's a 1-on-5 for True. Yeah, he has a spike down, but he needs a miracle. Finds the first, maybe a little more. It's a drop down, dual isolated, but it's not going to happen.
Honestly, really well played for them to go for that, but the discipline from Rise was strong there. Yeah. And you saw, I want to give another big props to Derek there because he didn't fully commit to the rotate, knew that the fake was a possibility. I'm just kind of surprised that was the approach that FYB went for. I mean, the fake behind it, again, not necessarily a bad idea, but it seemed a little bit slow for them to capitalize and bring it towards B. They couldn't exactly burst up in the way that I think they're hoping for, and that partially comes down to time. Respectable indeed for FYB, but it will be a Rise round either way, and it costs them 3 ultimates, but that is well worth it because it means that you get to stabilize your economy and in turn punish FYB.
Yeah, True has his blades up. Everyone else has rifles to play with. Gravwell up towards Catwalk. There's 2 there to receive it, but Nerve's not aware of that information. This mid-hold, I feel like you're at a lot of teams who start to kind of chill out with their mid-holds, just using those tricks, but like Rise is still very aggressive about it. Like I feel like this is kind of the setup we might have seen like a couple months ago, back before like Aster was in like the same form she is now. So I actually like it. I think that it works well off their quick rotations because they are just kind of playing this full retake A.
It's something that Envy actually used to do a lot as well. I remember FNS used to hold down Pizza basically all alone and had some great miracle plays, but I don't know, it feels like a very risky time to do it against Astra especially. But if it works to your success, why not? We're entering the latter part of this half. Now's the time to start showing off some neat setups. All sorts of things like that. That is a huge start. But are they going to rotate fully around it maybe? That's the next question here. I don't even think FYB are going to commit this early.
No, doesn't look like it. The Cyber Cages, they're just bullying them with utility. Rise has everything here, but the push will come out eventually. Trip connects onto the Jet. And Calypso blind, does get away with his life for now. They're supporting from the back. Shanks on a flank, shuts down the Reyna. As Tro finds one with the blades towards the site. You're right, there's a player logs, and Nerf finds one, maybe a second.
That's huge.
Great position, great frags. Now it's man advantage for FYB. Last 2 players of Rise, they have the info. Knows everyone is on the site. 2 curveballs. You call it out because it's so important in this one. Players blinded. Spam comes through. Neptune still needs to fight this. Recon showing Derek. He needs to go big here. Has the dink. Not enough. It's a shutdown for FYB.
Very scary shutdown, though. I feel like that could have easily swung the other way, you know. Imagine a world where Derek gets a double dink. That's a kill found. That might not even be traded particularly quickly. Those flashes end up being really lethal. I mean, you're looking at a very potential swing the other way. It just goes to show how close this game is actually gone so far. Derek, wow. That headshot was just a tiny bit off the mark. Matter of millimeters makes the difference here. FYB, they take a very slight lead.
This is still
Into the last round of the half here. I mean, yeah, it's tough, but I still don't think we've seen the full potential of both of these teams, though, Mimi, you know?
No. Look at this position. They have a Jet. That Shanks tucked in.
Wine.
Looking for something, yeah. I'm wondering if they're going to check on him, because he's done this a couple rounds, right? Into this position towards Wine. Shanks holds the angle. Oh, yeah, that's a grab. Well, coming up. Shock Dart to follow. Does good damage. Won't kill him. The vulnerable wasn't up in time. That just might. No. 23 HP. The walking wounded, barely alive. A Molly in the corner. But the tailwind gets him out eventually. They invested a lot into that, but they do push him off his position. Now this push could come out on A. Dash in, spray away for Poise, shut down. It's a double entry for FYB, but Shanks is still here. He was damaged up but never found. Only good for 1. Not going to be enough. It's left on to 1 man. That's Derek on the retake, and Hunter's Fury. Be a dart to work with here, but he needs to isolate these duels perfectly. There's 1 tucked in. See anyone just yet. They're playing this correctly. Jump spot up. From the Aster, did he see the head? Not quite. Showed for a moment, but not going to be enough. FYB, they were the underdogs coming into this, Kieran, I would say. In the kind of chat poll prediction, 85% of the viewers predicted Rise is taking this map, and they're down 2 off the back of the defender side.
It's rough, but I think FYB have been playing wonderfully to match up with it. Very thorough, as you saw in that last round of the half. They knew Shanks was going to be there. They committed, let's see, what was it? It was I think a double shock dart, Gravwell, Or I don't know. Yeah, they
And
use
a Swarm Grenade. At least like
and a
4
Storm
5
Grenade.
PC utility.
They use basically everything that they have because they knew Shanks was there. Forced out the tailwind, made him much less effective. Effectively neutered him from being able to do like a dash and get away. That sort of intricacy is going to make a big difference for Fricky Bag. And well, as we enter this next pistol, I'm not going to say it's exactly fundamentally major that either team picks it up, but it certainly would help Rise.
Oh, that's very aggressive. Trade doesn't come through. Calypso really stepping up at the right time. Trade eventually, but it's man advantage for one on the side of Rise. They're looking to aggress towards A here. You see the dash straight into the mollies. That's so much damage. They're countering Shanks at every corner. They know how this team plays. They're ready for it. And it might not matter though, because Rise has another frag. Keeps it advantage of 2. Remember Shanks though on that very low HP shock darts. They won't connect onto the planter, and Simple has a recon, no stars to, well, maybe, what, 1 star? Already used. Utility running dry, Nerve to find a fight here. Double setup towards Hell. Derek in main, working off that Nebula. Yeah, no one's giving this away. Dart already used up for side of Simple. It does ping 1 in Hell, that's good info. We can try and push off of this. Start shows to 1 Heaven. That's tough. And last man to stand, not going to be able to do it. Rise shuts down. Another great post plan, and that's a crucial pistol.
It really is. Makes a big difference for them. I'm not going to say, again, like it's the turning point for either team, but Rise kind of needed that after a not amazing start to this game. Honestly, it's kind of crazy to me that Fricky Bag had the setup to counter Shanks, like you mentioned. Double Swarm Grenades over towards Tree like that. I don't know how often I've seen that. Usually, you know, Swarm Grenade is set down on default to try to deny plant or something akin to that, but over towards Tree really shows that they've done their homework. So, well played, Fricky Bag. Now you're going to need to do a little bit better than that. Rise still get away with the round. And what I'm going to be looking for here, Rise, is probably a smoke in, try to break down Switch, and then move it towards site slowly after. Just a standard collapse onto the B-bomb site.
Yeah, killing the KJ first there is really big. Shanks on the updraft, saved by Neptune, and a trade does come through for Simple, but not going to be enough for any real chance at the round here. Eco damage still that name of the game, but the classic in hand through the wall with the Vandal and Huston. Let's see if he's going to be able to get anything done.
Maybe a dink on the Calypso. Not even. Pretty, I mean, unsurprising results, I think is fair to say here. The fact that they punish Shanks is nice, but yeah, that just kind of seemed pretty commonplace for a site collapse like that. Now, interesting thing to note there that didn't really end up getting all too much use is that Fricky Bag closed the door early just so they could break it down, knowing that is usually one of the vital points that a lot of teams do on their B executes. They usually send their jet in to close the door, and then, you know, you path the site from there. So they're trying to completely close that out as an option early, and I'm curious to see how that's going to be used in the future.
Yeah, I'm interested to take a look. There is guns up for both sides to play with here now, and I like this adaptation in the setup for FYB. They were playing previously the KJ here, kind of the anti-Shank stash setup, but now they have 3 on the site, not electing for that retake, and trying to fight here. I feel like the Gravwells for FYB have been really great. Like, they use them in the post plants and aggressive on that attacker side, using them here in the defense. And I think that, I mean, just one agent that Rise doesn't have, like, you can see them lacking it now that we know, I mean, how much this agent can do.
She really is just a terrifying character to be up against. Now, I want to divert your attention to what Rise are going for here. This is very similar to what Fricky Bag pulled off. Just straight up execute behind a drone here, leaving a flanker towards mid. This is about as cookie cutter as you can get for an A execute. Thing is though, Fricky Bang have a couple of things up their sleeve. True is holding the right side of Heaven, finds a frag before getting out, and that will make things a little less comfortable into our post plant here, as they're actually seeing a dual takeover towards Cat. Nerve will win it. And wait a second, Fricky Bag are actually in the lead here, although this got off to a great start for Rise.
Yeah, good position. Notice the stars go down there. That could help on this retake. There's a player in close, though. Nerf needs to clear it. Curveball up, spam good. Won't connect, though. Even trades. Still, FYB struggling here unless Jelly has 2. Now there's 1 in close. Derek trying to fight, but Jelly with 3 closes out the round. What a retake.
Oy, that was beautiful. Started as a 5v4, and, you know, what we talked about previously, it's just holding strong positions. They really are just reading Rise right now. It's wonderful to see. You saw just completely dead set on a inevitable flank through Cat. Nerve in particular was just a massive boon there. Truo, this getaway was huge for them. He didn't even have to be healed up, but just being able to act as a body on the battlefield in the latter part of the round did them so many favors. It's making a difference, these small micro plays, and Fricky Bag, they're being rewarded for it. As they enter this next round, money's going to be tight for Rise, excuse me. They'll actually have to buy down to a pistol, excuse me, on Shanks, otherwise they'll have rifles, but you're going to have to look at ways to get a bit more creative with things, and I think it might come in the form of Neptune's Run It Back. They've been farming these orbs pretty diligently, and well, they have high hopes for this, I am pretty certain.
Rotate out. Rise has slowed things down a little bit here. They've struggled on those executes, and now they're going to kind of reset into this default setup. Look for space off of that. You see, still, that FYB's not fighting it. They have more of a kind of that default mid play where you just have the alarm bot there and someone kind of jiggling for your tree control. Not a huge fight there. But yeah, you're right. Look at Calypso. He loves these lurks. Let's see if he can do anything with it.
Remember last time he got hard countered by Nerve, I believe. That alarm bot, there it is. It's actually not from Nerve this time, but still position given away. Now's a good time to contact up A main. You can tell Truo's not 100% expecting it. Caught a little bit off guard. Does take care of the run it back body, but he's struggling to stay alive regardless. That's where Shanks comes in to try to help out things. Still trading left. Even Mimi. Not the most comfortable state of affairs for FYB, sure, but they get into this post plant in a 3 versus 3 state. Very much doable, but they're going to have to play numbers.
Yeah, one frag here and the KJ lockdown is up and available. Keep your eyes on if that becomes a factor. It might come down to these early picks. Great dart, that shows 2, and they're not going to spam off of it. But the information goes both ways. Yeah, they know he's down in that corner. They can try and pressure, but Calypso has one. A crucial first time taking away FYB. You have to pick up the pace, but you're pushing straight into Calypso. He has 2 on the stoic defense, and Simple with 2 HP. We've seen a clutch out of him before, but looks like it's not going to happen in this one. Breaks the glass, forced to retreat, keep the weapon. Huge round there for Rise.
Yeah, lots of great stuff to take from that one. You can obviously point as Calypso as being the star of the round because he got those 2, but I think more of the important lesson, other than the shots that he was hitting, was the fact that Neptune was pressured in a very difficult position because of that recon dart that came through. You'll see it right here. You see who's being pressured, having to flash himself out to get out towards Generator. And that wide peak that came out from both Houston, I'm not sure if it's Houston or Huston, I've heard both, or Jelly. Yeah. It was a hard counter by Calypso holding that angle. So that's why having the back of your teammates is so vital. And again, it's making a difference, Mimi. I mean, the small micro plays once again coming into fruition.
They've struggled to hold this A main control. We've seen them fighting it a couple times now, Kieran, and normally they're not able to like hold off for long enough. Normally our goal here is to maybe get a pick, maybe stall some time, and they've committed pretty heavily to it on this pistol round, looking to fight it. But again, just a little bit of aggression from Rise will make him scamper away, turn tail towards the A site, and I mean, Rise, they love this slow default. They don't want to be committing when they don't have the information. I think that's kind of a similarity between these two teams when we've seen them on the attacker sides.
100%. I mean, it just seems that Rise are really finding their groove in this sort of style. Well, Fricky Bag were really, really strong on really clearing out one vital part of the map, and then otherwise, whether it was like blitzing up or just straight, whoa, what's going on here? We'll get on that later. This is an execute just waiting to happen. Rise have committed 2 players in for the cause. That's spiked down on site. What in the world?
This round is so weird. Every position of the map has just been pushed simultaneously. It's this 2-pronged attack. In through A, in through B. Austin, he wasn't ready for that. Wasn't prepared. No team to fall around him, and just the sheriff in hand. He's maybe trying to commit to this flank, get a weapon in his hand, but I mean, even where that one player from Rise dropped, it's perfectly protected. There's no guns that he can take, no chance for a save. Kills Shanks, there's an opportunity, spots the head, he goes awkward, neither one connecting, and he commits to the fight. lose it to the superior arm, so it's a 9th up for Rise, and what? They've only lost 1 round on this attacker side. They're starting to kind of pull away with things here, Ito.
It really is finding their groove, you know, super slow. And as I was kind of trying to mention before, Fricky Bag, it felt like they were really trying to fight for one certain part of the map and then executing based off of that. But actually, I think a great example of how Rise handled their attacking side was they kind of spread over everywhere and felt really, really comfortable. Now, mind you, they were up against pistols. I don't think you're going to be seeing that exact same form for this round, but once again, I think the big emphasis on Fricky Bag here is try to get control of A main. It has been their boon for a while, and if they can do that, they're going to look a lot more comfortable. That's the kind of style they like to play, forcing one part of the map.
Yeah, they haven't been able to find that same control on this defensive side, and
3 players
I like
B
the
main.
setup they have here. Yeah, you call it out. 3 towards B main. They're pushing for this information. This is exactly what you called that you wanted to see out from them. Change the pace up a little bit. Find your pacing in this game, and that first man after Reyna could find Phoenix here. Someone on the catwalk, tap away, connects for 1, and they'll just back up. Yeah, that's a huge position. Early advantage for FYB, and I mean, they also have ults to work with. This is a great posturing.
1000%. But they know that these players were towards mid, so an A push is going to be likely, or at least some semblance of control from the attackers. So they're going to actually move their setup. The 2 players who have been over towards tree will stay towards tree. And they'll bring a little bit of backup. There's the execute in behind the drone. Contact made first off will be taken by by Neptune, excuse me. And that's going to result in the death of Nerve.
Timing for Calypso. Could have gotten caught there, really close. Jelly on the corner. It crosses him, and he swings out for 1. Maybe even the run it back, but no. Neptune recovers back into his body soon enough. There's a flank factor here, Ito. It's Huston coming on the backstab from the catwalk. He blindsides another. This round is so awkward. Now there's a Lear up. He can try and fight this, but it doesn't initiate in time. Shanks has the head, but it's a 2v2. These plays made it doable for FYB, but still, you have to work off that Sova utility. Derek pokes towards main. Shanks, he's tucked in here. They need to fight quickly. Pure on the cloudburst.
They gotta get this to half.
Trying to get this down now. Shanks ready for the fight. Think not gonna be good enough from that range, but the shock dart does it, Ito. It's still half. No health, no shot. Derek sprays away for 2.
Boy, that was massive. They needed True to stay alive there. Those cloudbursts were gonna be their key to victory, but Derek, just even wiser, keeping the shock darts for the occasion. That is exactly why you try to be, you know, waste not, want not with your utility. You have to make sure to keep the shocks exactly for positions like that. It ended up winning them the round, and thing is, I think Derek could have actually tossed out another shock to find that kill bulletless. Like, you're looking at the power of Sova right there. Reason why he's an insta-pick on so many maps. Frick your bag. It was so close to glory for them, but instead they're going to be down in the dumps once more. A yard sale buy for them, as they're on mostly pistols. I think there was a Vandal in the mix somewhere, but it's overall kind of a team effort for them to stay frugal.
I mean, they've been doing everything right? Like, they had the aggression in that last round.
Nice shot.
Got up through it, found some space, and well, they're trying it again. It doesn't work out to the same extent. Even trades, I don't know how many he saw there. Poise is looking to recover this information, but
just the 2.
Look how open the A side is. If they push now, he's factor. This fight in mid, though, huge. Nerve can't find the head. Not gonna happen. This is another really weird one, an awkward one, but the hat gets thrown. Information for Calypso. They know 1's on B. They know these defenders relatively split up. This is the execution. Comes down to the 1 man on site. That's Huston. He makes something work, and he does for the first. Empress up. Yeah, it's massive. 3v3 now, but remember the timing. 40 seconds, they don't have to commit. There's already a lurk into the A site here.
I was going to say exactly that. That's going to force a rotation. If they can get even a slight read on the... Oh, Lord, no. That is not a move. They're going to stay even, still 2v2, but the spike is going to be on the fast track towards A. Shanks has basically the entire map to himself. They're not even in the same postal code as each other right now, Mimi. This is awful. Shanks is going to be able to get the hit on basically anyone when he wants. He has the tailwind available. He's going to be able to get out after the fact or not. It's punished by Jelly. What in the world? Oh my god. It all comes down to Derek. He finds the first, not the second. It's a quick trade, frick your bag. They keep things so close once more, Mimi.
Dude, Ito, you're gonna have to try and explain that to me because that round was just chaotic, right? Like, it started with aggression towards A, they rotate back towards the B site, find some frags, and then I think the biggest mistake there was that, yeah, the A site was free, but by rotating off, they gave up the guns. Those weapons were recovered, turned onto their former owners, and, well, it loses the round. Now, this is a big chance for FYB to come back into this.
It's absolutely vital. Simple finding this kill made the round happen, quite obviously, but I think you're totally right. You're completely on mark for the general timeline of things, but that's the power of trading right there. It's something that I constantly stress for reasons like this. Twice in that round alone, it was just such a major factor for FYB, and I think it's going to be their key to success if they want to somehow take down Rise. Sure, we're only in map number 1 of a best of 3, but this is a phenomenal start from them. The gap is nearly closed here at 10 each, excuse me.
Simple as a Hunter's Fury here. Could be a big factor. Well, his double has one as well, and that's just the pullback, dismiss of the star, and a smoke up stops Truro from holding this line, so mid-control found. Rise again, working this default, working the map control, but I love what Truro is doing. Smoked off, you immediately look for a new angle. That's what good Jets do. They're always looking for a fight. That's what we saw Shanks do to great success, but he's gonna have to do something big here because it looks to be the setup for a B split, Kieran.
Seems like it. Right now, all eyes are on Poised right now. He has that paranoia available, and I think that's going to be one of their big ticket items to try to enter into this site. Simple, though. We'll go ahead and keep an eye on him first as he emerges through the smoke. It's actually going to be Calypso to find the finishing frag on the trade. Jelly still holding onto the site. Has both a kill with the swarm grenade as well as the rifle, and the rifle is so damn lethal. Gets a dink as well for good measure. Every single part of the kit being used to try to stay alive, and just Truro finishes it off by jumping into his own death, but
oh no.
It's I said this before, blisteringly quick. It feels like a small angle that you fail to completely pivot and pay full attention to is going to be exploited, whether it's by Rise with what Shanks and Calypso have just done, or what we saw from Nerve before. And right there was Calypso. Yeah. It's just incredible info. He knew exactly where all these players were going to come from, and his crosshair placement is so on point, he could easily take them out.
I say oh no just because you feel for Truro there. Like, he knew exactly where he was, wanted to take the fight early, but if he just waits a second there, bides his time, could have just gotten one shot off with the classic, but he loses it out. That's a heartbreaker for FYB. It's 11 up for Rise. Remember that advantage in the half, right? It was FYB up by 2, and now they find themselves down by the same. Rise continues this momentum, just strings a couple more rounds together. They could close out this first map and
take flight.
Well, this is going to be a big one. FYB, well, they probably need to win this. Yeah, you're right. Cosmic Divide up. They have ults to work with, so it's always a chance. But the buy's a little weird, especially with this Guardian up for Derek.
Yeah, it's really weird because they're pinging on the map. That's something to always pay attention to through the radar, and they did 2 dots next to each other. I think
it's like deciphering Morse code or something.
It's something akin to that. Whatever it is, it really isn't amounting to much of anything as we enter the latter part of this round, and it's a kill in favor of Rise as they take down Houston immediately. That kill is going to need to be traded, and while it is, it's traded right back. Again, that's a big word of the day, trade. How many times can you say, and how many times is it going to prove to be absolutely fundamental? The answer unknown to all of us, but FYB now have to enter a post plant on the downturn of things. They're a player just not in favor, if you would. They have the Hunter's Fury and Cosmic Divide, but is that enough?
Oh, Calypso has a freebie here. Yeah, that might be the round. I don't think there's guns in play. If they are investing these ults, maybe a chance. It finds a tag frag too. They could maybe do this now. Derek's very low, but look at the time. Not much left. They're very late to the show, and the recon dart up for the retake. Still a player that they have to dislodge. Shanks making himself a barnacle stoic on the site. And there's an op in main holding. No HP, no issue for Derek. Not worth the save here, and not even a chance. Killed by Shanks. It's match point up for Rise.
That was interesting. Wait, did Shanks die there? Oh no, he didn't.
No, just narrowly lives.
Wow. Saw life flash before his eyes right there. Interesting. I'm not 100% sure what the call there was from FYB to commit the Hunter's Fury to a round like that, but really just kind of ends up being used for not sure. He got an extra kill to add to his tally, but that could have been a really big factor. You know, think about it. If you tag someone early with a drone, he can basically force out that pick, or at least counter Derek if he uses his Hunter's Fury. I don't know. FYB are going to be working with a little bit less here, but they're making the most of what they got here. Lemons out, or lemonade out of lemons, if you would. First kill found for Truo. That's the imposter taken down.
Oh no, chat's
That's
gonna go
sus.
crazy. You can't say those things, Ito. Not in this year, but that is an unfortunate turn of events because they had man advantage and now it's getting torn back away. Truro has one. Derek's still here with the op. You're right. The tailwind's there. He doesn't need it, at least not yet. Dash in. There's a man on the site. The teleport finds him here. Timing on this a factor, but it doesn't even matter because FYB, despite the loss, find it off of Truo's just heroic play.
Truro with 4 there was pivotal. Actually want to give big ups to him for that initial frag he found too. I mean, it's great to see that even though these teams are kind of in a do or die sort of situation, single emo like it is, this man is confident enough to play just an ego angle like that towards B main, even though he knows that he is well within liability of being completely and utterly demolished by a single op shot. Just, you know, ego frags like that eventually sometimes work out. If it's a calculated risk, it's sometimes worth doing.
Truro, you have a chance here. Make your team a little bit more in this.
Good pressure.
Narrow that odds. Yeah, you're right. Great utility usage. Derek finds both. I think Derek is a trial right now, or at least a stand-in, someone new. He still doesn't even have the Rise tag in his name. Previously on the way, and well, he's been stepping up on this Sova. It's an eco round for Rise, but they're never out of these. They're never completely neutered, but that's a great start. Nerf finds one curveball up, doesn't matter. And look at the paranoia in response.
Great.
Shuts this round down. Rise taking care of the utility usage. Impeccable as they want to close here. It's going to take something big, something heroic. Calypso, though, he does have this rifle, Kieran. He has to push into this beehive, and he gets stung. Last man to stand, taken care of as well. It's flawless. That's what FYB needs.
This is so strange to watch from FYB. They have a pretty unique hold going on, right? Again, we talked about before how they are holding down mid with 2 players, but I think on top of that, it was sniffed out by Rise. You pointed out how Derek spotted both of the players holding mid with a drone, and so they tried to bring it in over towards Catwalk, excuse me, because they're kind of expecting those players to be normally people who play towards Cat or Tree, but there's still 2 players from FYB in Tree as well. So I think they're going to be thinking that immediately, hey, we should be trying to pressure A main every single round because that seems to be relatively deserted. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're committing 3 players to the cause. And if Rise get this, they're going to have a lot of space to work with here.
Truro's up. What'd you say? It's been definitely an X factor in this one. Definitely a big portion of the success. And now in the final round of regulation, what's the call of your Rise? They're again playing this slow. One information to go off of, but pivotally, they haven't found the setup towards A. 3 are playing here. It's a sole Sova on B site. They wouldn't even have early intelligence if B was decided as the committal. Calypso could be the man to find that information, considering a lurk up, considering a push through, but it doesn't happen. No one wants to be that first man to make a mistake.
Derek is going to be
set
huge
their
here.
seam down. Yeah, could be.
If that drone spots the op here, they'll have a chance to pressure Truo. Otherwise, it's a free one and done kill for him.
You see the arm? Yeah, he does. Clean shot. Bladestorm up, swing out for Huston. This is great coordination. The double duelists, well, they struggled to start, but now they're stepping up. Calypso lurking through mid. He's known. Jelly here to receive. Poise has another, but the trade's good from Huston. And Nerf chimes in as well. This might just be overtime, Kieran, as Calypso finds himself in a clutch, and he's good for them. Hat in hand, 10 seconds left. You gotta move quickly, man. You gotta fight in, and not gonna happen. FYB, they're gonna secure overtime.
Of course, that's how the day is going to start out here. We're in for 3 best-of-3s, and if all the games are like this, not only are we going to be here until midnight for the next day, but we're going to be in for a wonderful day of Valorant. What a fantastic setup that was from FYB, and a unique approach to it, right? A lot of the time when teams get an immediate player advantage, they aren't going to be trying to extend to grab another. They're going to be doing the exact opposite. They're going to try to avoid being refragged and just try to back off the site. But it was really interesting by Houston that he decided to wide swing A main off of that kill from Truo. It's not something that I think you should be having a part of your default every single time on A, but the mix-ups from FrickyBag have been wonderful, and it's what's gotten them to overtime. And if they can continue that sort of setup, that sort of a unequity, if you would, they might be able to snatch away this first map.
Well, up with Thesaurus, because we're gonna need a lot of words if the game keeps being as close as it is here. Push up towards mid.
That's
Austin
great.
found. Yeah, that's good information. They're trying to commit maybe into this, but they'll back up. It's actually great information. The owl drone from Derek, though, does reclose this gap. I believe I said earlier that I thought it was a trial. He is actually signed. I misspoke. He just still has the old on the way name still, because on the way no longer a roster, at least in that form. But who is a factor in this is Neptune. He doesn't connect. Could have been two.
Whoa,
Said just one. FYB, they find two on the way in. This is a huge start for them. Post plant. That's secured, and one of these players already damaged. Shakhtar dying up, almost kills him with the second one late to the show. Now up top is Poise, ping out, Shakhtar in, connects onto Shanks, that's the operator down, and a dangerous man taken as well. Hunter's Fury up, straight in, barrel stuff with the ultimate, the bow in your face, and well, the round gone. Rise, they brought it so close. They found themselves on the precipice of match point, but now the favor returned. FYB could close.
This is unreal how FrickyBag are playing this. Some questionable decisions. I mean, sure, it's easy to say everything when you're watching the game. You're kind of the almighty seer, the omniscient beast, but it worried me that Calypso kind of felt the need to peek after the fact. After his teammate got completely run over by a couple of players running up through Cat. There's playing trades, and then there's this kind of that wild swing that was kind of, I don't know, maybe a bit ambitious. Certainly worrying, and it didn't help Rise's favor whatsoever, as FrickyBag were essentially able to make that into a free 3 versus 5. Try saying that 5 times fast. Well, it was a major part of their success in that round, and once again we're going to get to see the unique sit-ups that FrickyBag have brought out for the entirety of their first side of defense. Let's hope that they can pivot. Push into the site here, Mimi.
Yeah. Simple. Ooh, interesting spot here. Needs one. Finds it. Laborious. Another chance with the trade. Stay even into a 3-on-2. Rise have the site, but the retake can come quick. Look where Nerve is. Here's everything. Oh well, see y'all. Wait for the team. For the aggression. This could be the end of Rise. All 4 stars in play. This utility can be used to just bully them out. It's an operator on the retake. Always a tough set of cards to be dealt, but the recon dart not up yet. He has it available. We'll shoot it towards the backside, and actually not going to reveal any information. Operator holds. They're playing this slow, playing off the advantage. It's a gravity well. Neptune holding. Run it back available now, but it just has to be him. Needs to isolate these shots and just can't do it. Turo's up, completes the comeback, and FYB, they close map 1.
That is real admirable from FrickyBag. Now, mind you,